Hey everybody, welcome back to episode 3 of The Return of Rumsy. This is a series focused on my Ironman account on Old School RuneScape, where I'm currently hunting after some high-level PVM items on the Phase 1 portion of my checklist. The goal of this series is to acquire some of the strongest gear available so that I can go back into raids and hunt mega rares while also completing combat achievements and working towards maxing my account. But that being said, thank you for being here. Let's get into episode 3. So I've been doing some TOB recently, and I am still just kind of a learner. But the roles I've been filling are either melee DPS or range DPS. And for the melee DPS, I've been using a ham joint for Nilocus. And it's okay, but I've read that there are some better alternatives for a melee weapon in the Nilo room, one of which is the sulfur blades. So I'm here just kind of AFKing some sulfur Naguas, trying to get sulfur blades.
Collection log slot completed.
Hey, there we go. That didn't take too long. Where are they? Well, it's a sad day that I have to retire the ham joint for Theater of Blood purposes. It will be replaced by the sulfur blades that I just got. So you can see, while the ham joint does have a very fast attack speed of 3 ticks, it's got no combat bonuses. So the sulfur blades with 72 slash bonus and 64 melee strength, even though it's a 4-tick attack weapon, this is just overall a much better option for Theater of Blood. So ham joint, you beautiful piece of meat, you will be missed. So Jagex released the first batch of summer sweep up gear and PVM changes on July 22nd. Included in this batch of updates were the Gauntlet improvements, and they essentially just made prep way easier by making all of your materials stackable, reducing demi-boss attack range, like crystal shards are automatically placed into your inventory now. So overall, I think they just made Gauntlet a lot more enjoyable to complete. So I do still have some combat achievements to complete at Gauntlet, and I figured I'd go back and just see, maybe I could get lucky and get a second enhanced seed, because the Blade of Saeldor would be a pretty big upgrade, especially for Theater of Blood. So yeah, I figured I'd jump over to Gauntlet and just do some runs and try out these new updates.
Mage. Combat task completed.
Alright, there's the Master CG speed time.
Two, one. Combat task
Okay,
completed.
there's a couple more combat achievements for CG. Do we get rewarded? No. Dude, Nox Halley is actually kind of pumping this kill. This might be the speed time. Come on. Come on.
Combat task
Nice.
completed.
GM task, Vardorvis speed time, let's go. Another chromium ingot. I need a vestige. Another TOB KC completed. That's number 24. Another run with the Clannies. Ooh, a purple. Who's it for? Oh, it's Naya's. First purple in 74 KC. And it's a Justy face guard. I mean, at least it's a purple. Hell yeah. Congratulations, Naya. Well, with how much easier Gauntlet prep has become following the summer sweep-up changes, I went ahead and started farming out the speed times in both Gauntlet and Corrupted Gauntlet. And really my goal was just get through prep, get the necessary materials as quickly as I could, minimal food, minimal potions, and just go start Hunlif. So this one wasn't as fast as I'd hoped, but still good enough for the Master Speed Chaser for regular Gauntlet. Went right back in. You can see on this attempt in the top left, my prep time was 1:30, which is pretty good. Kind of just need good RNG on the Hunlif fight, and just survive, honestly, to hunt that GM speed time here for regular Gauntlet. Alright, that was super fast. There's the GM time. Alright, and again, apologies for these glitchy clips. I think I've identified the issue, so for future videos, shouldn't have this issue. But I jumped over to Corrupted Gauntlet, chasing the GM speed time, and really the strategy here was just making tier 1 armor and 2 perfect weapons, and then just sending Hunlif. And yeah, there we go. A 5:37 CG. That is the GM time. Well, now that I've completed all of the combat achievements for Gauntlet and Corrupted Gauntlet, I figured I would just send some more. Honestly, I was kind of enjoying doing CG. It was a break from other content that I'd been doing, and I know this is a hot take for some Ironmen, but I like CG. I think it's a fun piece of content, so I was just sending a couple here and there.
Give one of you guys the lead and start hiding our
2, 1.
No, it's not gonna save us. Okay. Our hands are in the devs, or our fate is in the devs' hands now, huh?
Honestly, I don't think this.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Even if they are.
There's so people.
Okay, y'all. So, as you just saw, got the second enhanced weapon seed. I got that at 674 KC, so overall pretty spooned here to get 2 enhanced weapon seeds. Remember getting my first way back when CG first came out, and really had not touched this content since then, but with the recent summer sweep-up changes, I decided to go back and complete all of the combat tasks for both Gauntlet and Corrupted Gauntlet. And after I had done all of those, I was like, well, I'm just gonna send a few more, see if I can get lucky, and we got the second seed. So pretty sick. Did already craft that into the Blade of Saeldor. I am a little bit short on the crystal shards required to corrupt the blade. I need like 83 more. It costs 1,000 to corrupt the blade. So gonna find a way to farm out some more crystal shards and corrupt the blade. But then that is the new best in slot melee weapon for the account, so pretty sick. There we go, we got 1,004 crystal shards ready to corrupt the Blade of Saeldor. Pretty big moment here. Let's get this bad boy corrupted. Oh, only 900. What the helly? I didn't realize the 100 that were in the blade counted. God dang it! I could have been done with this an hour ago. Alright, either way, there we go. Blade of Saeldor corrupted. Do I want to recolor everything? Let's see. Ladies and gentlemen, look at that gear setup. Looking pretty good. I ended up going with the black Blade of Saeldor. I left the rest of my crystal armor and Bofa blue for now, but I thought the black Saeldor looked pretty sweet with the oath plate and melee setup. Just need to get rid of this McDonald's looking dragon defender. So an Avernic defender soon would be super cool. I'm sure I've shown clips of it already in this video, but sitting at 28 top KC, got a rapier so far, so gonna keep grinding out top when I can find teams and hopefully get an Avernic soon. Figured it'd be good to get the Hespori speed time out of the way. I definitely have the gear to do it now. My strategy was basically just trying to skip one of the flower phases by getting a big chally, which we do get right here. So we just skipped a whole flower phase, can knock out these flowers, and then just kill Hespori.
Combat task completed.
Alright, and there is 1000 KC at Vardorvis. You guys might notice I changed my UI a little bit. I think, you know, just something a little cleaner, a little different. But there is 1100 KC at Vardorvis, still hunting the Ultor ring. So as you guys know, the Soul Reaper axe is one of the items I would like to obtain for my Phase 1 checklist. I've got the Executioner's Axe Head, so that means that I need to get the Eye of the Duke from Duke, the Siren's Staff from the Whisperer, and the Leviathan's Lure from Leviathan. I decided to go try my hand at some Duke. It was my first time there, really just kind of learning the boss. And we spooned the Eye of the Duke at like 34 KC, so that's awesome. Unfortunately, I did not get a clip of this, but I'll just kind of show you what was likely going on in my room when that happened.
That's his eager face.
So I know you probably would have loved to see that reaction, but there we go. Eye of the Duke obtained. Alright, I've been going super hard on Vardorvis the past couple days. Haven't had much luck getting that last gold ring drop to finish off the Ultor. So I'm going to take a little bit of a break and focus my sights on a piece of content that I have been putting off for far too long, the Fortis Coliseum. Similar to the Inferno, the Coliseum is just a big checkpoint for all accounts. It's a test of your skill and your mettle as a RuneScape player. You got to make it through multiple waves of mobs to eventually reach the end boss with as many supplies left as possible. Take down the boss, and then you are rewarded with a new best in slot item. In this instance, it's the Dizana's Quiver, which is the best in slot ranged cape. So I've been watching some guides and videos to try and get a basic understanding, but I am the type of person that just needs to jump in there and learn by doing and by failing, essentially. So I figured I'd just show you guys the gear setup that I'm running in with. Just a basic Bofa setup. We are bringing the Blood Fury and then some switches for the Fremenix at the start of each wave. Additionally, I'm bringing an Elder Maul and then just 2 switches down here for Soul and then potions. But yeah, this is what we're running with. I'm not going to go super in-depth with my progress, I think, in the Coliseum, but I'll show you just some highlights of kind of how I progress and try and condense the learning process. So here we go. It's always fun to go back and watch some of the early attempts at like learning new pieces of content, because in this attempt I wasn't even moving away from the Fremenix. Like, the whole point of the Fremenix is to continue walking so that they cannot hit you, and I'm just standing here tanking the Fremies like a champ. Just like with the Inferno, it did take me a little while to get used to like how to solve the pillar stacks, and especially with the Manticore, having multiple attack styles and trying to understand which mob needs to see you first, which one you need to be attacking. Like, it just took a little bit of time to get used to, but it did feel good to, you know, solve some waves and get the prayer flicking down. This attempt, I definitely chugged way too many brews way too quickly, but yeah, figured click yellow potion, get some experience. I did make it to wave 8 on my first day of attempts, and then I quickly was introduced to what a double south spawn was, and just how deadly a double south spawn can be when you don't really know what you're doing. I spent the next couple days just kind of grinding waves, getting to later waves, and really learning how not to handle them. I will say the resources that are available on the wiki for the Coliseum, and just, you know, how to solve waves, where you need to be running out from, which monster is going to see you first, those resources were super helpful, and eventually I got the hang of it, but let's just say I died a few times to get there. I did get an Echo Crystal on a wave 5, and I was like, well, I'll just go ahead and do wave 6, why not? But I don't know. I figured I'm only on wave 6, I might as well just claim it and just restart real quick. So that is the Echo Crystal.
Collection log slot completed.
Obtained. That's pretty cool. Well, here we go. After a few days of grinding out the Coliseum and trying and failing and really just kind of learning as I go, we are moving on to our first attempt at Sol Heredit. So I have been practicing a bunch of Sol on the simulator, so I do feel pretty confident going into this. The only issue that I'd been trying to avoid was I kind of had to take Frailty 2. It was just like the best option out of the invocations that were shown to me, so we're going into Sol with a max of 80 HP. I do also have volatility on, so I need to be wary of Sol blowing up when I kill him. But apart from that, I mean, I've got a ton of supplies left over. I didn't touch my brews at all this trip, so yeah, I think we're looking pretty good to go ahead and jump into Sol. Okay, and then for the final invocation, I guess between these three, I think volatility is the safest option. So I just really need to make sure I move away from Sol to not get hit by any explosion when he dies. Alright, here we go. Just like we practiced in the simulator, baby, come on.
task
dude.
completed.
Fuck. Dude, I was chugging brews there. Holy shit. It's done. It's done.
Collection log slot completed.
Let's go, Quiver. Okay, there we go. That is another piece on the Phase 1 checklist crossed off. That is the Dizana's Quiver obtained. Alright guys, well that was another very eventful episode. You can see the inventory is starting to fill up rather quickly with all of the items that have been obtained so far, and definitely making some really good progress towards that list of items that I'm looking to obtain. I think next episode I would like to focus a little bit more on the other DT2 bosses with Soul Reaper axe pieces that I need, so maybe a little bit of Leviathan and try out some Whisperer. I also want to get the Blood Moon Rises quest done so that I can start farming out the Maggot King to try and get the Rupture Amulet. And yeah, apart from that, you know, still working towards the other items like the Ultor Ring, the Magus Ring from Duke. So still a lot of cool grinds left to complete. Thank you all so much for hanging out this episode. I know this one was a little bit longer than usual, but had some pretty big grinds and wanted to share all that with you. So thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel if you're not already. I would love to hit 50 subscribers on the channel fairly soon. But yeah, see y'all next time. Bye.